Oh, good old Nintendo. Now, as you are all well aware, I'm not a Nintendo YouTuber. King of Xbox, king of PlayStation, king of emulation, king of anything else. Sure, yeah, give me the crown for that. But when it comes to Nintendo, I'm a bit more skeptical than some others. And obviously, it's been an interesting 2024 thus far for the big N. We had games come out, another Code Recollection. That game didn't quite hit for me, quite like it did on the Nintendo DS, where I played the first game and really enjoyed it. I think more so I just enjoyed the touchscreen use of that. Mario versus Donkey Kong came out. I saw that Josie Woe beat it in like 4 hours, did all the levels and stuff like that. But that's all fine. That's all fine. We expected a kind of soft first half of the year Nintendo because we were all expecting, to at least some degree, I feel, maybe others believed it more so than others, that there was going to be a big second half of the year, potentially with hardware and new hardware. And with new hardware, you get new first-party games, you get new third-party games. It's a celebration, a big coming together of sorts when new hardware releases. But of course, we talked about this on Saturday. There are quite a few reports out there now, and it seems like more and more are coming out day after day after day, that Nintendo will actually not be releasing a new platform this year. It has now been shifted, at least internally, until 2025. And, there's been some hesitation with it. There's been some questions surrounding it. I know even I questioned the PH guy, but it seems like Mr. PH was spot on with this because as the weekend continued, we got more and more reports coming out that Nintendo had at least internally delayed the Nintendo Switch 2 until Q1 of 2025, which, there's going to be some questions raised, and more importantly for this, there's going to be questions raised by the people that essentially run these companies. I, of course, am talking about shareholders, because after these reports went out that the Nintendo Switch 2 was looking like more so a 2025 release, Nintendo stock took a pretty sizable hit. Now, it was a 6% hit. It's down 6% since it was last opened. And, that's not massive, in the grand scheme of things. I'm sure they'll be able to bounce back, but that is a significant drop. If you know anything about stock markets, you buy low, you sell high. So, this isn't, any financial advice or anything like that, although those financial YouTubers make a crap ton of money. This is not financial advice, but if you're, looking for a Nintendo stock right now and you could sit on it for a little while, this might be a good time to buy it because there is a significant backlash hitting Nintendo right now because of these reports that are coming out there. And honestly, I kind of understand where people are coming from with this. First and foremost, 2025, it's still just a rumor. 2024 was just a rumor when you really think about it. Nintendo hasn't delayed the Switch 2 as far as we are aware. But of course, we live in the age of, the internet, and we have to know everything, and we have to know it right now. And when we hear about things potentially getting shifted, we tend to believe them. And I think this is a situation where we can believe what is happening with this. And when you look at the 2024 year for Nintendo, let's say the Switch 2 is now out of the equation. What do we have going on? Like what are we working on as far as games are concerned? The Switch is down year over year as it has been, which it makes sense. We're hitting astronomical numbers, almost record-breaking numbers of systems sold. But how are you going to continue to sell those systems? And more importantly, how are you going to continue to sell software if when you look at the software lineup for 2024, we know it. At least as of right now, we know what they are doing. We know that Princess Peach Showtime is coming. We know that Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, the best named game of all time, is coming. We know that Paper Mario Thousand Year Door Remaster is coming. And I'm sure all those games will be like fun. I'm looking forward to Luigi's Mansion 2 because it's been, over a decade since I've played it. I think Princess Peach's Showtime looks pretty fun, all things considered. But these aren't necessarily like huge groundbreaking games. So then we kind of pivot into, well, is it going to be like a fan service year? Now, as far as fan service would be concerned, you would think you would learn about some of this stuff in a February Nintendo Direct, but it seems like this is going to be a partner showcase. Games rumored for it are Penny's Breakout or Big Breakout. I forget the name of that game, but it actually looks pretty cool. It's done by the Sonic Team people. I hope that Goemon style game is also there as well. And then you have Piaro on Twitter hinting at some other things. Is Game Freak a partner? Because allegedly there could be something from Game Freak there. I would, kind of dwindle your expectations on a Pokemon game because it's Game Freak making a Pokemon game, and well, we saw how Scarlet and Violet turned out. But more importantly, I feel like if there is Pokemon stuff, they'll do that at a Pokemon Day announcement whenever they do their little presentations. Maybe a Pocket Junkie shows up at this. There's also rumored something about a dolphin. Could it be, the Dolphin emulator? I don't think so. Like, Dolphin, of course, is an emulator for GameCube stuff. But, I mean, that would be nice if they did add an additional, system to Nintendo Switch Online. Because when you look at Nintendo right now, it's very peculiar. Because you don't have, usually with a Nintendo, like, you have a decent amount of answers going into the year, and then as the year progresses, you get more and more stuff. But it seems like that's not going to be the case this year if the new hardware doesn't come out, which it seems like it's not going to come out. So now you're relying, I guess, on a mixture of like third-party companies and maybe ports and remasters. I know a lot of people are talking about Metroid Prime 4. You have to imagine that's moved on. You have to imagine that's, at best a cross-generational game instead of just exclusive to the Switch. Like, I feel like that game could potentially utilize the additional power that the Switch 2 brings to the table. But people are demanding answers. Shareholders are not happy. Now, thankfully, Nintendo is a Japanese company, so they're not going to be super reactive and, cobbled together a press conference, a little podcast in order to talk about the future of the company based on some online reports and stuff like that, which I definitely respect. I've heard that Phil is still out there like answering Phil, don't answer DMs from people. Just do your business. Just stop with this parasocial relationship. So at least we don't have that with Nintendo. Although fans do create a parasocial relationship with some of the characters. Like, Mario's my best friend. It's like, bro, you are 35. Go outside. Get a female in your life or something like that besides your mother. But I think this is going to be an interesting 2024 for Nintendo because you have to imagine they weren't expecting this backlash. Like, maybe to some degree they knew that these reports were going to hit, but I don't really know how closely Nintendo follows the internet all that much because they've always marched to the beat of their own drum. And a 6% drop, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this will probably just be, a dip in the stock because that's something that happens with pretty much every stock. But it is kind of alarming when it happens all in one swoop. And I think it'll be interesting to see when we have these, investor Q&As with Nintendo, like how they kind of navigate this field. Because at some point in time, they're going to have to talk about the second half of 2024. They're going to have to talk about 2025 as well. And I feel like that's when we'll get the answers. And I feel like that could even impact, the stock and the overall general feeling about Nintendo more so than what we're seeing right now. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Are you a Nintendo shareholder? I used to be, and then I don't know, I got out of stocks. I got into like mutual funds and stuff like that instead. It seemed like more safe money. I'm kind of weird like that. Like I go for the safe money. So I kind of got out of the stock market. Crypto too. No, a foregone thing in RGT's life. Let me know what you think about this. What do you think Nintendo has planned for 2025 or 2024? I should say. What do you think they got going on? at this partner showcase, could there be a new system announcement? Are we going to be relying on HD remakes and remasters for the Nintendo Switch in 2024 with maybe some potentially smaller titles? There's lots of things to wonder about with this. Super Mario Wonder. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Dislike, hit the bell notification, yell at me in the comments, tell me you hate me. I don't really care. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.